Wow, welcome to Aichi Prefecture. This is where Nagoya is located. This isn't Nagoya, but this is where I started in Japan 26 years ago. This is Higashi-Okazaki Station, which is under construction. This was a grand old station back in the day. Not so much right now. I guess they're undergoing renovations here, but I found a sign of what it used to look like back in the day. There it is. That's the Okazaki station I kind of remember. I don't think it's changed that much, but I guess it's gonna begin until 2030 until the construction here is finished. That's an old looking station, but this is on the Meitetsu line for those that are wondering here. And yeah, I'm here to do a job tomorrow. I'm gonna be filming in a neighboring town, so I took it upon myself to stay here before I go over there to film and walk around this area. It's aged. It's aged, and so have I, but you're gonna hear maybe some interesting stories in this 20-minute or so stream as we walk down what is a really typical Japanese town. A lot of the station fronts called ekimai, they look kind of the same. They have the same kind of stuff. Now, Okazaki is really famous for this, and I'm gonna show you on the map two things here. The castle, Okazaki-jo, where Tokugawa Ieyasu, who started the Edo period, was born, and fireworks. They make really good fireworks in the Mikowa region of Japan, so you're gonna get that as well here. Here's a map of the area, so you guys know exactly where I am. I can't believe Higashi-Okazaki Station. Used to take that Meitetsu into Nagoya all the time. It's you can see Tokyo. Tokyo's to the east and Osaka's to the west, so it's in between there, pretty much in Nagoya, about I don't know, 45-50 minutes away from Nagoya. It's along the river there. It's a nice site. This is a really beautiful city. It doesn't get a lot of attention, but it does have that castle and a lot of other attractions. I'll show you tomorrow morning. I'm going to take you to Okazaki Park and Okazaki Castle at the crack of dawn, so you can look forward to that. The station has really undergone a lot of renovations. There's the castle right there, Okazaki-jo. Really beautiful place. I've never been in there. I lived next to it for 14 months when I lived in Okazaki, but I never went in. It's like one of those things where you live across the street from an amazing attraction, you never really find the time, do you? And I lived right there. That's how close I was to the castle, that ugly looking pink building. It wasn't pink when I lived there, it was gray or white, if I remember correctly. If you're gonna, take an aged building and make it cool, I guess pink works. I don't know. It was always about a 15-minute walk from Higashi-Okazaki Station to get to my house back in the day. It was a really, really, really small one-room apartment. It was a 1R, which is the smallest of the small. I think it was like, in the exchange rate, it would be about $280 a month. It was crazy cheap. The washing machine was outside, if you can believe that. Like, you'd have to open the front door and the washing machine was right there. It's what they would call an apato. Not a glamorous place, but I was an English teacher. I was 20-something, and certainly it was more than enough. I was just so shocked to be here. Michael Sasana's in the house. How you doing? Aloha, brother. I caught you. I don't usually live stream at this time. You can see there's a lot of bars in this area. The ekimais are famous for having like bars, entertainment, manga cafes if you need a place to crash. You'll find capsule hotels, things like that usually. Here's a karaoke place. Like, all this is gone. Here's that sign I was telling you about. This is where the station used to be. So there's some back door entrances into there. I'll show you what my room looks like as well. That's a brand new hotel that didn't exist when I was here. This building on the left side is interesting. This is where, I believe, if I remember correctly, the Ion, Okazaki Ion for adults was here. And I used to teach at the children's school called Amity. And I had friends, in fact, all of my friends were either students or teachers that worked in that ugly white building there. I believe it was this one. Of course, it looks like it's an abandoned building, and it looks like it's gonna be torn down, but it was a roach-infested place back in the day, so I can only imagine that they need to tear it down. Like, I believe there's a Nova right there. And yeah, I thought they went out of business. I guess not. A lot of teachers started at Nova. It was like a factory, but the McDonald's of English schools. There's an ECC across the street. I wonder where the Eon is. ECC is the other Eikaiwa chain. So there's Nova, ECC, and Eon, and I worked at Eon. I couldn't get in. Well, that's not true. I got an interview to the JET program, but I interviewed maybe at the wrong spot. Washington, D.C. is not the best place to do that. So this is Akaya. They were asking me to go in when I walked by here a little bit ago. She said the beers are 300 yen, but she took that sign away, so I guess the happy hour is over. I don't remember any of these restaurants. I think there used to be like a Murasaki. Do you guys know that chain called Murasaki? It means purple in Japanese, but I think the chain has gone out of business. And across the street, I believe around here, maybe it was in this. Oh yeah, it was in this building that's like abandoned right now. Between, there used to be a Shirokiya, and the Shirokiya. You gotta be. I don't even know if it even exists anymore. Shirokiya was this it's like sort of like a Denny's, but it was an izakaya. It was open until 6 a.m. the next day. So if you wanted to get a drink or you couldn't sleep, you'd find a lot of people at the Shirokiya waiting for the first train or kind of, drinking the night away. They went out of business, I guess. The building looks like it went out of business. But it's funny that's no longer there, and the Murasaki probably in one of these buildings here. For those that lived there back in the day, I think that was the first izakaya I ever went into, which is just crazy. A lot of nomi hodai places, all you can drink, and karaoke. All right, let's go across the street here. Don't want to film. Looks like some of the hostess girls are there. You don't want to film them. Their handler was looking at me. I know that face. Audrey. Whoa! Look at this! They got a British pub here! Oh my god, I would have wasted so much money inside of here if this had existed. I think this was another kind of a restaurant because I once had a date inside of this establishment, but it was something else back then. So we could take a look at the food here. Typical brew pub stuff. Never get the pizza because you're just never satisfying, but this looks actually really good. Pizza in Japanese izakayas are never good. It's basically like a tortilla with some sauce and cheese. But you can see the menu is very prolific. It has like everything in there. That looks good. Fish and chips. Probably that's what you get at a British pub, but looks like I got a bunch of beer. I did not teach in Aomori. I taught in about 16 or 16 different locations. I moved so often back in the day. Oh, there's a ramen place. I don't think any of these places existed. Oh, here comes the Meitetsu train. They have like a super express that goes to Nagoya really fast. It's an hour from Toyohashi. I think it was like 45 minutes from here. Fish and chips smells good though. That's not Japanese fare, but I wonder how good or how bad it is. It's kind of quiet. I guess this is the end of the bar scene. Let's look back at it, but you can see it's sort of popping, sort of happening. Right? The station front is the brightest area in any town. And there you go. Higashi-Okazaki station with the station under construction. Bradania's feeling it. Let's march on. That place looks pretty good too. Says they got good horomon, which is animal parts grilled with, nice sauce. I think that dentist was here before. I'm trying to place some of this stuff here, but Aichi Prefecture kind of gets forgotten a little bit because it's Nagoya, the third or fourth largest city. It's got Toyota, which is a lot of industrial stuff happening here in Aichi Prefecture. Toyota is a town, and the city subsidizes, I don't know if they still do, but back in the day, they subsidized all of the local taxes were paid. So if you lived and you moved to the city of Toyota, you didn't have to pay local taxes, which is usually thousands of dollars in Japan for all of the services. The company of, I guess there's some sort of festival going on, or is that construction? The city of Toyota would pay for all of that, which is incredible. That Family Mart wasn't here. Now, I came here in July of 1998 to Japan. It was freaking hot. I never felt like this kind of island heat before. I got off of the airplane. I remember being jet lagged out of my mind because my flight was delayed in Detroit, and I was hot as heck. And I got picked up, and I was like a zombie when I got off of the plane. I did some training in Okayama, and then I came like really quickly here because the teacher had either been fired or left or something had happened, so they brought me in super fast, expedited all the paperwork to get me here, and then here I was. And I remember, I think it was the week that I came, I was on this bridge, and I was in awe and in shock of Japan on this bridge, because this is probably the place to be when the fireworks come. Okazaki has one of the best firework festivals, I think, in this area of Japan. Maybe not nationally, but it's pretty big. And there's other fireworks festivals going on. It was on this bridge. They shut the bridge down, and everyone was like in yukata. This is 25, 30 years ago. And there was a dude holding on to like what was a python Roman candle fireworks, spraying out gunpowder. And he's like insane. That dude must have been drunk. He was right there on the side like 30 years ago. So what is this country? What is this madness here? And then from that point on, I was pretty fascinated and wanted to figure out how all this worked here. Let's walk up to the bridge, just take a look at the river. And then tomorrow morning, this might not be so interesting to you, but this is fascinating to me to be able to see where I came from. Food Loaf is here. Thank you for the great content, John. You're very welcome, Food Loaf. Thanks for being here. I'm so happy. I took the train from Hamamatsu. While we're walking here, it's not so exciting. I can show you a little bit. This is what Mount Fuji looks like this afternoon, about 3 hours ago now. It's got that nice white cap on there. It'll get a lot better in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Some days in January, the whole thing is covered in snow. But it looks real nice right now. I did get a chance to do some work. You can see here, doing some video editing on the Shinkansen as fast as I can. The faster the train goes, the faster I edit. Maybe not. All right, I want to cross the street here, but this bridge is so... Oh, look! Look at that over there! They have the lights on at Okazaki Castle. They're not very powerful lights. It's kind of real dim, but it doesn't... I think they could upgrade their lights. They're probably still using incandescent bulbs. One of the best hotels in the city used to be that one right there, Okazaki New Grand Hotel. And I stayed there my last night here before I moved to Hiroshima to another school to work. They put me up in the nicest hotel and was only about 100 meters away from where I live, which is crazy. It's so quiet out here. This is a stark contrast to Tokyo, which is just completely filled with tourists right now. The school I worked at was at the end of the bridge down here. My first bowl of ramen was eaten at that light. Take a left. There's a karamiso negi ramen shop. So I've always liked karamiso negi ramen. Pretty amazing. And then down there, wow, you got the Okazaki Castle and the riverfront. And I used to do picnics here. I think you could do barbecues in Aichi. You have barbecues and picnics, and there's a lot of event spaces. And in any major city, this would be a dangerous place, but you can see in Japan, it's just so darn clean under the bridge. Look at that. You could camp here. I mean, it's just, it would make you like homeless, I guess, but you could. I'm not sure you might not want to during the typhoon season because the flash floods or the riverbanks do overflow. But it's just a beautiful place. And during the fireworks here, this is where they have a lot of the fireworks set up. And you have another fireworks festival down maybe about 3-4 kilometers, like 3 miles down the river. And then you saw 3 or 4 layers of fireworks as other towns were doing their fireworks shows. You had one real close. You had another one over there in the town nearby, and another one in the distance. It was like amazing. There were fireworks all over the place. The sky was on fire. But look, if you get put into a place for, let's say, the JET program or English teacher job, yeah, everybody says that they want to live in the city, they want to live in Osaka, they want to live in Nagoya, in Tokyo, but I have to tell you something, probably better off living in the countryside, especially the first time, because then you really start to get to know the country a lot more, and it makes your experience a lot richer, and you're going to learn the language more. And if you're looking for, you know, friends, you're probably going to make a lot more friends here than you would out in the country, out in the cities, because there's just so many expats. It was nice, I was able to get Japanese friends here, and that kind of gave me a little bit, I didn't know Japanese very well, but gave me kind of an introduction into, you know, Japan. All right, I'm gonna make my way back here. You guys have any questions about Okazaki? This is really crazy to be back here. I tried to go live well, here's a shot going over the bridge on the Shinkansen too. You can, if you do slow motion, it's kind of impactful. But what was really pretty, I put this on an Instagram story. You can see the reflection of Mount Fuji in the water there. Do you see that? The cable's there, which is a shame. It was such a peaceful, and you have to do it in slow motion to really see it. But there's a beautiful reflection of Mount Fuji on, is that the Fuji River or the Naka River? I can't remember what it was called. But you have to sit on the right side of the Shinkansen in order to get the view, and you get about it feels like about 5 minutes going by on the Shinkansen to see it go by. All right, you probably want to see the room I'm staying in, so let's do that. I'll pull up that. It's surprising. It's a really nice room. See here. Boom. Welcome to my room. Knock, knock. It looks like a typical business hotel. It's narrow, it's small. It was 9,000 yen a night. It's a little expensive, but it's comfortable, you know? The bathroom, typical. It's clean. I was really surprised that, because everything you just saw, I walked through the town, it looks really dated. This place looked really new and clean, and the staff was nice. Nice view. I get the station on the left side and the river on the right. So I'm quite happy with this corner room that they gave me, and I probably sleep pretty good and wake up early. And I'm going to take you to the castle and take a look at the Okazaki Park, because there's something in there that I want to show you. They gave me a little yukata in there. I never wear them unless it's like an onsen, but yeah, it's a pretty good hotel. Here it is from the outside. I think it was called like the new Grand is across the river there. This is the Grand Inn. It's good. It's good. I thought it's a 300 yen for parking. They gave me a 1,000 yen discount. Oh, check this out, manhole. And they had this really weird anime manga. Does anybody know this character? A Robot of Kawaii. I got to ask my friend Matt Alt if he recognizes this. But yeah, Okazaki Station is Higashi-Okazaki Station is kind of unique. Now that's the one thing here. You all kind of have to keep this in mind. If you're watching this because you might be moving to this area, there are a lot of people, like foreigners, that move into Okazaki or Higashi-Okazaki. So I can tell you, you know, this is a very livable town. It's very affordable. Nagoya is where you're going to be doing a lot of shopping. It is a little bit older, it looks like it, but they're doing some amazing renovations. And the Meitetsu line is very convenient. You'll have a pretty good start here. But, you know, as I said, for JET program, you can't really pick where you're going to live, but they do ask you if you have any requests. And my answer is always, you know what? Sometimes you just leave it up to fate and say you'll go anywhere, because that might, if you say something like that, you might get into the program a little bit easier. You know, it's pretty competitive to get into the JET program. Laura had applied. She about my, look at that car. That's a pretty sweet car. Whoa, what is that? Anybody know that car? I'm gonna cross the street here. Maybe I can get the audio a little bit better. How's that? That might be better. So I'm here to film. The city of Nishio, which is right next to here. It's a sponsored video. They asked me to come down here. They had a little budget, which is perfect for me. I got a chance to come down here on that dime to film this episode. So I'll be staying at a guest house. Did I show Neon Taito? Did I show something I shouldn't have? Ekimai. Now, 26 years ago when I came to Japan, like coming here, there was a lot more neon lights. You almost don't see neon lights. You don't see them anymore, right? Like that's for the English language school. You don't really see them anymore, and that's a shame. They were all over the front of the station. The economy might have been better back then, I'm not sure. But we had neon lights all over the place, and you could feel that. It felt more like, I guess, Asia, you know? I mean, nowadays LEDs came. I think it kind of ruined the culture. But this also happened at a time when the neon lights went away. I think it was around 2008. It was during the financial crisis and then the earthquake. Everybody was trying to conserve power. Then there was a massive shift to get to LEDs. I think they got rid of the lights at the Osaka. The Glico Man changed from this amazing, I can't imagine what the electric bill was, these neon lights, to some really boring poster, which is such a shame. But the conservation of energy, especially after the Great Tohoku earthquake in 2011, is something everybody was trying to conserve power because we didn't have enough of it in the Kanto region for quite a while. We couldn't turn on the air conditions in the summer. So the term cool biz came about around this time. But this also saw the end of the neon lights because nobody was buying them anymore, and a lot of those businesses and the people who had the know-how, they kind of went out of business. There you go. There's a LED neon light. That's not quite the same. It's a Korean restaurant. Oh, it smells so good. Some Wagyu there. But a lot of the Westerners, there's some people in the lobby. They're here working for Toyota, or they doing business with Toyota, and that's why they come to this area. So, yeah, Beef Hunter. What an awesome name. Really? It's empty. A lot of yakiniku places here. Let's take a look at this menu. Colorful, right? Looks fun. Yakiniku. I'm in Okazaki because I used to live in Okazaki, and tomorrow morning I'm going to jump into the car around 8 o'clock. So I got to do the live stream much earlier, and then I'm going to drive over there, and there's a guest house with a really unique story. There's a guy who wants to get tourists to come to his town, and I thought this is a fantastic story. And we tied it up with a partner who also wants to. Nobody in there yet. Who also wants to tell this story, and it's turned out to be something that really intrigued me. I think one of my missions has always been to take you all to places that are outside of the norm, outside of the typical, and this is where the station used to be, Higashi-Okazaki. I want to show you new stuff, basically, and this is new, and it has a story behind it. I think that was the stairways to get up. Yeah, it is, to get up to the old Eon, which is a roach-infested school. That was definitely the Shirokiya on the bottom floor, I think. It's out of business now. But there you go. I don't have too much more to add to this. It's just a trip down memory lane here, but I think Higashi-Okazaki, when the station is finished up, it's going to be really pretty. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to take you in to go take a look at the castle and maybe my first apartment. I found they actually have a tourist. They have a tourist office here, so you can see there's the statue of Tokugawa and the castle where he was born. His first bath was taken from a well here, so I'll show you all of that tomorrow morning. And I'm looking forward to this one. It's been a long time since I've been back in my old first hometown. Kanai and Leo are back home waiting for me to come back home on Friday. Yeah, the Meitetsu Toyohashi Station is under construction too. Interesting. They really needed to upgrade it anyways, but you can see the old Okazaki station. It looked like that when I was here too. So change does not happen often in this area, but it's really good to see them modernizing. And I'll be back, you know. Okazaki's got some really cool attractions. I'd love to work with them, the city, and maybe encourage you to come here. There's a lot of places in the Aichi region, the Mikawa region, they're very famous for fireworks, for stonework. There's a ton of really good food and specialties. The chicken here is really good, Cochin chicken. The Nagoya chicken is some of the best in Japan. So there's the station right there. Have a good night, guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks so much. And if you have any questions about Higashi-Okazaki Station or living here in Okazaki, let me know, and I'm happy to try my best to answer it. Oyasumi, mata ne.